Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Louise and this is Louise's Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me. So it's Friday the 10th of January. 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks since I came back from Bangladesh on the 26th of December. And looking at my tropical plants that I brought back from Bangladesh, I've already done a couple of videos on them. One of them was about the leaf drop, and obviously that is concerning, but they've still, they're still pretty much, these are the mangoes. I've only got 2 mangoes. There's the blackstone. Both are looking okay. They have dropped leaves, and this one has got some crisping going on, and I think that was down to the fact that this branch here was very bent over, and so I've straightened it up a little bit, so hopefully it won't die off. But these others seem to be okay, and I've got them facing the sun while the sun's out. They do go back under the grow lights of the in the evening, but I'm pleased to report that some of my plants are starting to put out new leaves. Now this little group down here are my pomegranates. I've got 4 pomegranates from Bangladesh, and correctly labelled now that put the English names on them. Deshi means local, so local to Bangladesh. So this is a Bangladeshi variety. Now this one, when I got it, was almost leafless, to be honest with you. It didn't look very healthy, but I got it because this was the one that had a pomegranate on it, and I thought, well, at least I know it's capable of bearing fruit. So that's, and I didn't take the fruit off, although the chap said if you take it off, it'll grow better. But I've kept it on, and it stayed on. It's not fallen off. And this one has actually started to put out new leaves. Now let me see if I can get into the light a bit better. So there are little leaf buds on here. Let me just see if I can point them out. Put my hand there. You can see that there. That's a new leaf. There's one appearing at the top there. So pomegranates, I don't know if people know, they supposedly have originated from Iran and places like Pakistan and Afghanistan, the birthplace of pomegranates. And those countries do get cold periods. They're not all round. I mean, they get very hot during the summer, but during the winter they get snow. They have snow in those countries, and so it's not unusual for plants like pomegranates that grow in those countries to lose their leaves and then regain them. So this is a local variety. It's probably gone into its dormancy period before I bought it, and that's why it didn't have many leaves on it. But what I'm showing you now are brand new leaves. So I'm really pleased to see that this is making a recovery. This other one here, Super Bagua, hasn't lost its leaves. It looks a little bit tatty, but it's kept the majority of its leaves. It's losing some now. These are going a little bit shriveled, but in comparison to the others, it is a super little plant. So Super Bagua is doing really well, and it has actually put out new growth. So this didn't go into dormancy, and it's actually actively growing. Let me just see if I can get down there. You see that pinkish growth there? That's new. That's new growth. So the old growth is, you can see, like brown, twiggy. but that's brand new growth. So I hadn't even noticed that on this one, because this one had kept its leaves. I was sort of looking more at the ones that didn't have leaves on them. Let me see there, and that's also new growth. You can see much thinner, and it's got like a pinkish tinge to it, almost translucent, the stems, you know, when they're brand new. So Super Bagua did very well. Now the others, the Kandahar black pomegranate, totally lost its leaves now. So that's a deshi, sorry, that's another deshi one. This is the Kandahar. So the other deshi did have leaves on it, and it's lost them now. So I think it's only just recently lost all its leaves, but like this other one, I expect it to recover. So pop that to one side, and then this is the Kandahar pomegranate, and it too has lost quite a lot of leaves. It had a decent amount on it, but again, I think like the other pomegranates, they're going to affect the Super Bagua. I think it's going to lose its leaves and then start to put out new ones. But, you know, I'm pleased really to see this one is actively putting out new growth. I'm just going to move position and show you what's happening with the guavas. Right, so this is one of the variegated guavas. Excuse me. And well, the two of them were on the window ledge, but because it's very sunny, even though it's a very wintry scene out there, a bit hard to film. So just swap places with the citrus that was on here. And this has lost quite a lot of leaves. I mean, there were leaves on most of the stems here, although it's not particularly bushy plant. But I'm pleased to show there is brand new growth. Wonderful to see. So I'm keeping on top of the watering, not letting it dry out. So if I see any signs of sort of the soil shrinking from the sides, immediately gets watered. So even if that's only a couple of days ago, in fact it was a couple of days ago that I watered this, and I noticed not a huge gap between the edge of the soil and the pot, but there was a definite gap, and so give them good drink today. So keeping on top of the moisture levels, not feeding this plant, just, you know, keeping the soil as moist as possible, and you're making sure that the water does drain out, so it's not sitting in a puddle of water. The root ball, which has been reduced dramatically, has been trimmed, the roots have been trimmed off to fit into a small, sort of like the size of a coconut size ball for transport. So this plant's not going to be, you know, up to taking up special fertilizer or anything like that. It just needs to keep water or hydrated in these stems, you know, to stop it from dying out completely. So yeah, there is signs of life. Let me just see there, as you can see right down there, little nub in there. That's a leaf bud. So yeah, very happy to see that. So I'm going to swap this around with the purple guava, and I'll show you what's happening with that plant. Right, so this is one of the purple guavas. The other purple guava is somewhere here, and but that one's lost most of its leaves. Oh yeah, I'll show you that one in a minute. So this is the better of the two, and pleased to say, even though it did drop quite a few leaves, and it is the bigger of the two, it's got 3 quite substantial stems, and had to prune it before I brought it back. Had a foot taken off it. This was 6 foot tall, so it's down to about 4 feet now. I could have bent them, but they would have snapped anyway. So, but what I want to show you with the new growth, there's brand new leaves appearing on this one. Now that flower bud was already there, so you know I can't claim, oh yes, it's grown while it's been in my care. That was already there and it's still on. So you know, I thought that might have fallen off, but it's still there and new leaf buds are appearing. You can see there, that's a leaf bud. And just go to this one here. You can see these little bumps appearing. Those are leaf buds. So yeah, really pleased that that's happened. Have to keep on top of the watering with these guavas. They don't like to dry out at all, but getting the balance right between flooding them and sitting in, you know, the roots being sat in wet puddles, it is not what you want. You want to just keep them moist. And remember that these have all had their roots pruned. There's another leaf bud. And I think that's at the top. It's just starting to appear there. So I am pleased with the progress. As I say, you can't win 100%. I mean, the other one, let me just turn the camera around and then I'll show you what the other one looks like. So it doesn't look as good as this one. Right, so this is the other purple guava, and it did have leaves at the top, but as you can see, dropped all its leaves except for a few from a side stem. It has got the signs of leaf bud appearing there, if you can see. So hoping that's going to be new growth. It's been 2 weeks since they were, well, over 2 weeks since they were sort of had their root balls reduced, and then they were packed into a suitcase and, you know, extreme cold temperatures. So they've undergone quite a bit of stress. And some plants don't make it, you know, that's the truth of it, you know, that not all plants are going to make the stressful change. You know, they're not going to adapt and you lose them. But hoping that that's not the case for this purple guava. Now I'll just have a quick look at this. Is one of the jackfruits. Now the other jackfruit has lost all its leaves and it's in the bathroom upstairs. I'm keeping it there because it's nice and warm and it's humid, because, you know, when someone takes a shower it gets nice and steamy. But this one seems to be doing okay. Although it's lost its leaves, you can see there's a new leaf coming out, which is great to see. Jackfruits are very, very tricky, I find. That one's got a little bit of sort of browning on the tip of that new leaf bud there. But hoping, you know, that these new leaf shoots, you can see there's another leaf shoot there, these are new, will aid the plant into recovery. There's another leaf bud there. Right, so last part of the video, just to show you what all of these plants have been potted up into, is this John Innes number 3, and it's enriched with, it says 4 months feed. So that's what's gone into all of these pots. I've added some orchid bark, which has some ceramis, just to help with the drainage. I've got a humidifier going. The humidifier belongs to my daughter actually, so I have that excuse me, have that going for about an hour in the morning excuse me, and an hour in the evening, just to keep the air from drying out too much. And obviously I've got my grow lights and using the natural rays of the sun when the sun appears. I pop everything into this sort of corner so that they can get as much sun as possible. And today, although it's wintry scene out there, it's nice and sunny, and only a few plants getting the benefit of the radiator heat. So the guavas are up there with the jackfruit, but the rest won't fit there, so they have to make do here. So that's the end of the video, folks. So I hope you've subscribed. Please do if you haven't already. Give this video a like, a thumbs up, share with your friends. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.